and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a radio announcer. I'm a high school football coach. And since I was old enough to stand on the side of a stream next to my dad, I've been an angler. I've fished with bait, lures, and flies. I've fished with spinning gear, fly rods, jigging poles, and tip-ups. I've stood on ice, waded rapids, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing, be it freshwater or salt, heavy flows, high seas, or cutting through a foot of ice, as much as I do, no matter what the quarry, no matter the tactics, no matter the chosen tackle. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman on HANradio.com.
Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. John Kovach with you. Another Thursday, a different Thursday for us. We enter a whole new world. We've had a couple of studio guests since we went to a streaming video format. I went out in the field this weekend, filmed a couple of events. It's a whole new world for us. That's why we're running a little bit late, trying to get all these things to work right. A lot of fun this weekend. We went up to the Catskill Center. We went to Beardsley Park in Bridgeport for the fishing derby there. We've got a couple of segments from there. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. Bear with us for being late. It's going to just make the show better as we move on. Right now, we are going to start with some footage from the opening season celebration up at the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum in Livingston Manor, New York. You're listening to and watching Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on HANradio.com and streaming on the Hersam Acorn network. Trout season in New York opened on April 1st, as it does every year. Trout Saturday, April 11th, the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum in Livingston Manor held its annual celebration. The Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum in Livingston Manor We've held its annual celebration. Shot some video of the opening trout season. We ventured up there as we pulled out of Connecticut. Video. Warm. I wasn't going to take a jacket. Left Fairfield, it seemed like a beautiful day as we pulled out of Connecticut. Well, fortunately, warm. I wasn't going to take a jacket coat out of the back seat from our hockey coverage. Well, fortunately, I had not taken a winter coat out of the back seat from our hockey coverage. The rivers were running high because there wasn't a lot of fishing. It was cold. It was windy. The rivers were running high, and there wasn't a lot of fishing going on. The water was so high, so fast in front of the center. It was so high, chocolate, so dark, so fast. Really, it wasn't safe for fishing. And so chocolate, so dark. That really, it wasn't safe for fishing, and it wasn't. The banks themselves had been absorbed by the torrent. And the river had actually overrun the area that was reserved for that ceremonial first cast. And the river had actually overrun the area that was reserved for that ceremonial first cast. Organizers decided as this chocolate brown water surged through the junction pool into the water. Organizers decided keep the first cast ceremonial. The kids ventured out into the water, and it was too cold a couple of casts. Fishing anyway. Safely.
Good morning, and this is Skylar. She's here to celebrate the season opener here. Good morning, and this is Skylar. She's here to celebrate the season opener here in the Catskills, just like Kids Only Day. Now, what are you going to do?
Hold on. First catch of the day.
Yes, we did just get snagged. Hold on. This is a great day to open the season. Yes, we did just get snagged. This is a great day to open the season here. We have a break with the next generation of fly 15 because it was 16 around. We have a break from 10 years old up to 15 because it was 16 around. 16 or over. Museum. Not allowed to be here. 98 years old. It's a full day here. We're going to go back to the museum. Agnes Van Pot, 98 years old, soon to be 99, making her famous suits. Then we're going to go to the gallery for the Catskill Fly Tires. It's a full rendezvous. There's about 40 fly tires over there right now.
A few minutes of casting was followed by a photo for the sponsor. Headed back. A few minutes of casting was followed by a photo for the sponsor. Trout season in New York headed back to the Catskill Fly Fishing Center, as it does every year. On Saturday, April 11th, the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum in Livingston Manor held its annual celebration of the opening of trout season. We ventured up there, shot some video. Left Fairfield, it seemed like a beautiful day as we pulled out of Connecticut. Warm. I wasn't.
Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The dock shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The dock shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The dock shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
This is Sig Hansen from Deadliest Catch. You're listening to Yankee Fisherman on HANradio.com.
And our coverage of the annual opening celebration at the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum in Livingston Manor, New York, Saturday, April 11th. This year brought together two organizations striving to keep alive the legacy of the Catskill region with regard to fly fishing, as the Catskill Fly Tyers Guild held its annual rendezvous in the Wolf Gallery as part of opening day. We met Dave Brandt of the Fly Maker, based in Oneonta, New York, who's also president of the Catskill Fly Tyers Guild.
We started the Guild almost a quarter of a century ago, and it was because of looking in catalogs at flies, and more particularly the Western catalogs, but you would find a fly that was purported to be a light Hendrickson, that instead of a subtle pink tan body, it was maybe almost red, and we're watching patterns disintegrate and turn into other things and variations of, and just inaccuracies, and a bunch of us that were serious students of the type of flies that were originally created here, the Catskill School as it were, we're interested in preserving that, the patterns, the tires themselves, and everything about them, and we just didn't want to see it morph into something else or disappear. So the guild came into existence just to see that that didn't happen.
So you're really working to preserve that Catskill style, traditional fly, predominantly dry, that people identify with historic Catskill fly fishing.
That's better than I put it. That's exactly right. But you hit on something that was interesting. We were about a year old, and I opened Pandora's box, in essence, by suggesting that as the Catskill Fly Tyers Guild, we should have it in our charters, so to speak, exactly what it is we're trying to do. And I would think that we might want to start by defining a Catskill fly. So I threw out the question, just exactly what is a Catskill fly? And a couple of the answers that I got were quoted from Harry Darby's wonderful little book. And it was all about the couple paragraphs in that book that describe a perfect Catskill dry fly. But Art Flick lived in the Catskills, was one of the pioneers, was one of the great ones, gave us, among other things, a bucktail, the black-nosed dace. Is that not then a Catskill fly? So we had to back up and see that roughly anything created more or less in the greater Catskills, originally perhaps for use, more or less in the greater Catskills, is a Catskill fly. So rather than have some historian dig out a number and tell us that, okay, there are 91 real Catskill flies, no, it's a living, breathing thing. There might be a 12-year-old down in Neversink today that creates a fly that over time proves to be valuable. It hangs in there, it catches a lot of fish. That's a Catskill fly. That will become one. So it's a fun thing.
It's a regional thing and not this strict definition that some people have, that it's a dry fly of such proportions.
That's right. So the proportions work. The dries have a certain visible rule for proportion and disciplines whereby one would know that, yeah, that's a traditional Catskill dry, but there are other flies that are less, the proportions are less indoctrinated than the Catskill dry, that are also Catskill flies. So it's an interesting thing.
Now, how often do you have meetings and such?
We meet almost every month, although the summertime, a couple of those months are given over to a kind of a picnic kind of a meeting. We have some of our meetings here at the Catskill Fly Fishing Center Museum or on the grounds of, and we are also in the Rockland House during the winter months sometimes, where the parking and stuff is going to be a lot better.
And the rendezvous, this is an annual event, first time here?
It's this is our first time at the center. We've done this at the Rockland House for years. It's quite dark. You have to remember to bring a light to tie there. There was a lot going on this weekend, and we decided to try it at the center and become a part of all the other things that are happening on this day this year. And right now, it looks like it's been a good move. We'll know later.
Awesome. And how can somebody join the guild if they want to go about preserving that Catskill fly tradition?
Well, at the moment, they could get a hold of myself or Judy Smith, who is our longtime secretary, then was out of that title, and we pulled her back into service. And she seems to be the person that collects new memberships. They can also be done through any guild member. And where we have a lot of new memberships quite often sold is at the fly tying shows, the fly fishing show.
And Art of the Angler, I believe I saw guys down at Somerset.
Yep.
So show season's a good time too.
Yes, and we're usually in the outer area, in the lobby of any of those things with a lot of the other nonprofit groups. And the dues are the same today as when we started, at $10 a year. If you're interested in the heritage of Catskill flies, you should join.
Sounds good. Dave Brandt, thanks for
Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Ever wonder why a story becomes news? Find out each Friday on Behind the News on HANradio.com. We'll bring in the newsmakers from around Connecticut and the journalists who cover them. Who is making the news? What did they do? Where did it happen? When and how did that story unfold? Find out on Behind the News, hosted by Kate Chaplinsky, John Kovach, and myself, Josh Fisher. Fridays at noon on HANradio.com.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop, and our coverage of the celebration of the opening of trout season at the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum. Ed Engelman was born in Bridgeport. We would never have met him had we not been lucky enough to see him working on a vise that just jumped off the table visually, because it's not every day that you see a fly tying vise made out of a saw blade. But that's what Ed had set up at the Catskill Fly Tyers Guild Rendezvous Saturday, April 11th in the Wolf Gallery at the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum.
I like using available materials to do what I want to do. My parents grew up in the Depression, and I was brought up as a child of parents who were brought up in the Depression. You make do with what you have. And we have a dado blade here, a circular saw blade here, a miter box, and an abrasive blade here. So I try to make them thematic. I try to put them together to attract interest. And my main point is it doesn't have to be expensive. You can find stuff around home to build your own. I've done it with Boy Scouts. I've done it with 4-H'ers, and as well as my high school students.
Yeah. What now? If this one here to your side, that's just simply leftover wood?
Yeah, planed it down. This is an antique fly tying vise, probably from the 1800s, late 1800s. And the reason I brought it today is both of these vices use steel and compression with a little bit of spring to open it up. The dado blades provide spring by being compressed with a gap in the middle, and this is tempered steel in a U-shape that when you release the screw, it opens up naturally. This does the same thing.
So basically you're using a screw to adjust the pressure.
I camped up there for 2-3 days at a time and never seen another person.
Steel in some form.
Yes.
Can you get
I go there twice a year.
Sensitivity that you need for different hooks, or will it wear out eventually?
If it does wear out, you can cheat and rough up the back side of it. I sometimes file one jaw in one direction and the other jaw in the other, so one's horizontal, one's vertical, and that helps with the gripping power. It may put some marks on your hook, and I have not had a hook break on me in a long time, so I'm not concerned about that as far far as losing a fish because of a broken hook.
And what are you tying?
Oh, this is, I'm tying one of these. It's woolly bugger Clouser light, and beaded chain in the front, and the rest of it is all
we do it when there's snow.
Yarn that I picked up at a yard sale.
Well,
it has some glitter strands in it, and it has some other strands.
You had to have air snowshoes.
I like using yarn.
No modern
I have found, especially working with young children,
right?
Some of them
everything you had to have the garb.
Have the heebie-jeebies about working
none of the
with
modern things with a cap.
And, things that were actually on a bird.
I would go, and I would participate. I would mark the.
In my own fly tying, I do use animal skins, old mink coats, mink collars that I find at thrift stores for $2 are
they allow
important part of my fly tying,
you can have
as well as woodchuck pelt, which has nice variegated guard hairs on it. So I use all kinds of materials, whether they're from a dollar store or from
I swear,
roadkill.
It would be 15
if you're picking up roadkill, you have to be very careful not to
15 degrees, right? And he would dress up like an Indian with no shirt on, with war paint all over, and that kid
wash
was
your equipment with
he was
bleach.
good.
Yeah, I always end up talking
he
myself
was like,
out of that.
I don't know, 18, 19 years old.
I passed a
Nobody
turkey
could beat
about
him.
3 days getting
Then they made
right
age
at the Bridgeport Trumbull line.
You know?
No,
it's real exciting. But
yeah, I have standards. It has to be real fresh. The first woodchuck I did, I made a quick trip into town, and when I was coming back, there was a dead animal that wasn't there when I went to
they
town.
changed to accommodate and get more.
Woodchuck has great fur for fly tying.
I hear you're using yarn, and you say you got it at a yard sale, so again, reclaimed items being given new life in the fly tying world.
Yes. I tend to like things that are not all glitter, but have a little bit of glitter in them. Some glitter acts as a fish magnet. Too much glitter will scare fish away on a bright sunny day especially.
Things change.
Now, what do you buy? Trout fisherman?
I'm mainly bass. I do fish for trout as well, but my main fish is largemouth bass.
Came out much better because I stacked it. That's what I want.
I was fishing with something similar to this that had a beaded eye.
I also do one other thing.
A bass took it when the fly was literally at my feet.
I take a turn under the tail.
Right up to shore because there are animals such as dragonfly nymphs that walk on the bottom and walk out to metamorphise into the adult stage.
It's going to make my dubbing start.
Without realizing it, I was imitating what a dragonfly did
that's the tip.
quite well.
See the difference?
And it was good enough to fool
I didn't like that
a nice sized largemouth bass.
It was terrible.
Cool.
It would still work. It would work, But this is a nice, neat tail, and it's going to hold the fly.
All right. So yeah, all of this really started when I had a job, first as a volunteer, and then I was hired for a fishing education program operated out of Cornell University.
So you do a lot with students and fishing exams.
Yeah.
They don't even have a ranger there anymore. They used to have a ranger in a little shack.
That program no longer exists, but certainly with my high school students, I do work with them and build fly tying vices with them. And we're also producing digital identification cards of macroinvertebrates, animals without a backbone, aquatic macroinvertebrates that live in the water. And they'll be available for free copyright distribution in about a month. And once we have them uploaded, I'll send you a link so you can put it on your site. What I'm doing every time I go around is stroking the material to the back so I'm not covering it over so there's more exposed. If I was imitating a minnow, I would leave it long or a leech, but I'm going to cut it short so that it's more like a compact body macroinvertebrate, such as a dragonfly.
So this is not a big fish pattern, this is a big nymph type pattern.
Yeah.
Only want one?
So that was it, a full day up at the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum. Thanks to Jim Cruel, Agnes, the whole staff for hosting us. Thanks to the guys from the Catskill Fly Tyers Guild. I picked up ideas. I met some great people, really from all over the Northeast. They were from New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, everywhere. Guys I had seen before at some of the other shows. It was a tremendous atmosphere up there. And as Ed Engelman said, you pick up an idea here, an idea there, and it just makes you a better fly tyer and a better fisherman. And that's what we're about. We're not the smartest fisherman in the world here. We're just a guy that goes out and meets a lot of people who know what they're doing. And you pick up an idea here and an idea there. And hopefully you do that. We'll be back with Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop, radio.com, and streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network. Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
There's also the accredited
This year, 3,000 Connecticut women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Hersam Acorn is a proud sponsor of the Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure. Help make an impact in the local fight against breast cancer by joining us on May 9th in Westport at Sherwood Island. With your help, Komen Connecticut invests in local breast cancer programs, helping local women beat breast cancer. Visit KomenCT.org to register, volunteer, or donate today. We race for Connecticut. Why will you race?
Does advertising on HANradio.com work? Just ask Coastal Orthopedics. They ran spots with us, and within 24 hours they had 21 walk-ins and 8 calls to their new immediate care center. To advertise on HANradio.com, call 203-417-5199 and ask for Marianne Hersam.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop, here on HANradio.com, streaming on the Hersam Acorn Network. A whole new realm for us as we get into video, and hopefully you enjoyed the segments we did up there at the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum. I know I enjoyed the trip up. Met a lot of good people, saw a lot of close friends, made a lot of new friends. It's just a great place. A lot of fishing stuff up there. If you can get up there and see the stuff. If you can support them, then support them. They need it, and it's important for us to preserve that the history, particularly because the Catskills are so important in American fly fishing history and the big names. And we have some other events coming up with them and some other stories coming up that we'll be doing about the Catskills and history and everything that they mean to fly fishing. And it's also about, this year was for them about the kids. It was women and children first last year. This year it was the kids. It was youngsters and teens doing the ceremonial first cast, which was great to see. A lot of them better casters than me, and that's okay. And they were out, and so there were some kids that were really into fishing, and that's important. And there was another event this weekend that I got to hit for a little while, and that was in the Pequannock River and Bunnell Pond and Beardsley Park in Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo, and they hosted the Bridgeport Tight Lines Fishing Rodeo on Sunday, April 12th. They've had it for a number of years. I know Mayor Finch stopped by. He's a big-time fisherman. Does all he can to promote fishing and angling and the recreational activities in the park city. Number of kids turned out. The fishing was, was a little tough. It wasn't as tough as the Catskills. It wasn't particularly great there. I know they did catch a handful of fish. I know where I tried to get out on Sunday, it was really clear and the sun was pretty high, so there wasn't a lot going on. But let's focus on the kids for a little bit. This is about the Tight Lines Fishing Derby, Tight Lines Fishing Rodeo at Beardsley Park, and it really goes toward helping fulfill one of the missions of Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo.
My name is John Mauricio, and I'm an educator at Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo. Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo is Connecticut's only AZA-accredited zoo, and it is great to partner with local conservation as well as governmental organizations, such as the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, including its Connecticut Aquatic Research Education Program, the City of Bridgeport Department of Police, and nonprofits such as Trout Unlimited to promote the enjoyment of the great outdoors, as well as wildlife conservation and the conservation of our natural resources. So it is with great joy that we're here on this beautiful day and having people who have never been outdoors before to fish. We look forward to partnering with other organizations in the future to get more youth involved in conservation and the outdoors.
Behind this, the other being Bridgeport police officer Michael Bouchard, who really has helped organize this and taken the bull by the horns and made this happen. And he has just done a yeoman's job at taking what was an event for Bridgeport kids, and they really expanded it this year. This Bridgeport police officer, Michael Bouchard.
Slow start this morning. At about 10 o'clock when it started warming up, certain areas they started catching fish, and so far we've caught enough fish to give our 5 awards out. And the first, second, and third prize, believe it or not, actually are 3 sisters that go to Pendergrass School in Ansonia.
How many kids did you have sign up?
135.
Oh, that's a nice turnout.
135, yeah.
And this wasn't just a one-day thing. You had to train volunteers ahead of time?
What we did was we had the week prior a fishing class that was given by, I did once an hour section of it entitled How to Win a Fishing Rodeo. And then the state care instructors did another 2-hour class. So the majority of the kids that came here were part of those classes. So, they were doing pretty well themselves. I mean, we really didn't have to help them with much of anything. And an event like this always takes time to coordinate. We're coordinating the training classes, the advertising. We have the DEP marine tip van down here. We have the Bridgeport Police Department Command Center down here. So it takes a while to coordinate an event like this, but in the end, it's all worth it. We're trying to get as many kids out to enjoy the natural resources that not only the state but the city itself has.
Yeah, now the goal of this is to get these kids out and teach them really what kind of a fishing resource they have here in the Paquonic River and Beardsley Bunnell Pond.
Right. Most of the people, when they think of the city of Bridgeport, they think it as a large inner city, and that may be true. But at the same time, you have fresh water resources to fish in, like Bunnell Pond, the Paquonic River. Also, you have saltwater resources. You have the Seaside Park and the Pleasure Beach here opening up again. So you both have a fresh and a saltwater areas to fish now. So there are a lot of natural resources, and we're trying to get the kids involved in it.
Mom, please.
Now, how many years have you done this?
Well, I brought it to Bridgeport in 2013, and this is actually the second year. We did something different during the first one.
We can stop this.
Okay, yeah. I brought it to Bridgeport in 2013, and this is actually the second year. We did something different during the first one.
We can stop this.
Okay, yeah.
That a live interview Sunday with Officer Michael Bouchard, who organized the Tight Lines Fishing Rodeo in Bridgeport. Just did a great job. They had a number of kids there. We've got a number of fishing derbies coming up this weekend, and we're going to tell you all about them when we come back. Right now, we're going to step out for a minute. You are listening to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on HANradio.com, streaming live on the Hersam Acorn Network. Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
It's lots of characters. Specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
This is Sig Hansen from Deadliest Catch. You're listening to Yankee Fisherman on HANradio.com.
Thank you, Sig. Good to see Sig and the rest of the fleet back as the new season of Deadliest Catch has premiered. I've got to catch up on that. This whole video thing keeps you busy. We're going to be doing more filming this week, and we'll get to that. The river herring have started to make their way up rivers in Connecticut. They've gotten some reports in Bride Brook and East Lyme, Mianus River down in Greenwich, and the Nature Conservancy fish counter at the Wood Dam in Westport has been installed to begin fish tracking in the Saugatuck. Thus, the Nature Conservancy is looking for volunteers. And they have some training that they haven't scheduled yet, but they will do it based on interest. Nature.org/Connecticut Volunteer will give you the information on how to join the Volunteer Fish Monitor program. Volunteers monitor fish activity in the Saugatuck, and then that data is submitted to the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection to assess the spawning runs of migratory fish. You'll identify fish or record specimens with a digital camera. You'll go in the water, and if you are one of those volunteers, remember it is colder than you would think in the early weeks, to check the basket traps, record temperatures from an analog thermometer, clean out tubes from the fish counter. That's another one where you've got to wear the waders and get in the water, log temperature and data from the counter, and replace some batteries here. You need to be 17 and older. If you're under 18, you need to be accompanied by an adult. It's totally an outdoor project if you do this, and you must be willing, the Nature Conservancy stresses, to get into the cold water. Having a general scientific background is helpful. You've got to be able to get to and from the counter area. It helps if you can identify fish, but it's not required. You must be able to work independently or in a self-designated, unsupervised team. You need to be able to begin work in short notice, because as soon as the migration starts and we don't have a calendar that the fish are working off, you're going to need to get right to work, and then you must be able to commit to a regular schedule. The Nature Conservancy expects that the fish counting project will be done end of June or whenever the migration runs again. They're not working off a calendar. Data is needed daily, and the duration of the commitment is dependent upon how many people volunteer. It really, according to the Nature Center, is an opportunity to develop an understanding of aquatic ecosystems, particularly in the Saugatuck River and the Long Island Sound watershed. And then that data helps the Nature Conservancy, because the DEEP gets it and assesses the spawning runs of these fish that migrate from salt to fresh water, and that's just going to help in planning stream restoration, dam removals, all the things that we're trying to do to really reestablish some habitat for some native fish, which would be great. I know the stocking program's in full swing. There's a lot of debate about an article in the New York Times about the cost of trout fishing and whether stocking is more harmful to the environment than it needs to be, and should it be stopped. I think that's a longer debate for another time. But this migration count, as you look at ways to reintroduce migratory fish that have for so long been blocked by dams and other obstacles, it's just a way to restore the natural balance that we once took away here along the Long Island Sound, the Connecticut coast. Keeping that in mind, the Paul Pollock Sr. Bypass Channel and Park at the Tingwee Dam in Seymour opened to the public earlier this week. Don Eng got some photos of that for us. We had a grand open. There was a grand opening last fall, but the park remained closed to the general public while the contractor completed the job to the state specifications. The state had asked the town to assume control of the park earlier, but the attorney for the town of Seymour suggested selectmen wait until a final walkthrough to prove to them that it had reached substantial completion to avoid any potential liability for any work that might not have been done. Seymour First Selectman Kurt Miller met with state officials from the DEEP, representatives from the contractor on April 10th. They went through the project. They're all satisfied with the site. There was a special meeting on Tuesday at which Seymour officially assumed control of the bypass channel in the park at the Tingwee Dam. You can take steps right down to the fish bypass to see the fish, but don't fish there. You can see the structure, but the park is closed from dusk till dawn. It's closed during the winter, and fishing from any part of the park or the adjacent bypass is prohibited, and anglers are asked to be at least 200 feet downstream from the fish bypass before fishing. DEEP Conservation Police will be there, and violators face steep fines. DEEP fisheries expert Steve Gephardt said the fish could be found throughout the bypass channel before the sluice gates were opened. Kurt Miller, First Selectman of Seymour, said he's thrilled that residents are finally getting a chance to see this project up close. He said even the fish were anxious, and what Steve Gephardt said kind of indicates that. The state has also extended the prohibition on taking alewives and blueback herring from most inland and marine waters in Connecticut for another year. That action was initially implemented in April of 2002, and every year since it has been extended because there hasn't been any significant improvement in the population size. So, again, blueback herring and alewives, you still cannot take them from most Connecticut waters. Robert Klee, who's commissioner of the DEEP, this extension is through March 31st of 2016. The stocks are still diminished, according to the DEEP. River herring, that's the collective term for alewives and blueback herring, both hatch in freshwater, migrate to the ocean, grow as adults return to freshwater. So that's just an extension of an already existing ban. News from Eco-RI News out of New Bedford, and that's that Red Brook has, and you can find it at ecori.com. Pretty good story about the brook trout there, and I know it's a big effort going on with our neighbors to get the sea rum brook trout and other trout back into their native waters. That is a big deal. And would like to see anything that can be done to restore those native fish. We're actually trying to book some interviews with some of these organizations that are trying to restore the Rhode Island brook trout and other species that might have fallen by the wayside, but that are part of our heritage, and we can get them back. A little closer to home, Dean Keister, who is vice president of Mayennis Trout Unlimited, he's going to lead a walk through Merwin Meadows Park in Wilton on Sunday, April 19th. That is this Sunday at 1 o'clock. Meet in the parking lot at Lover's Lane. That's behind the church in the Wilton Play Shop there. He's going to discuss the stocking program for the state there as it affects the pond and the river, focusing on activities that relate to fishing in Wilton. You'll have refreshments and a chat. Everybody's welcome, including dogs, as long as they're on a leash. And this walk is sponsored by the Wilton Conservation Commission, the Wilton Garden Club, and the Norwalk River Watershed Association. So let's go to Merwin Meadows, and you can find out about the watershed and fishery there. That is at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Dean really knows his stuff. I've been to a couple of seminars with him. He really does a great job with that. Nutmeg TU is holding a fishing outing on the Duxkerlick area on the Saugatuck. That's the fly-only area off of Ford Road. That is this Saturday at 10 a.m. You can meet there. meet some good people, learn some fishing. It's a great spot to learn fishing. It's wide. There's a lot of habitat. There's parking. It's fly only, just catch and release, but it's a good spot. And then Nutmeg will follow that up on Tuesday, April 21st at 7 o'clock with pizza and a movie night at Port 5, which is 69 Brewster Street in the Black Rock section of Bridgeport. The movie is going to be Once in a Blue Moon, and I'm going to try to get out there to see it. It's about fishing in New Zealand and this brief event that occurs once a decade where big fish are hitting on big flies. And I guess it's going to be akin to when you go up to the Housatonic or the Farmington and you throw the mouse patterns at night for the big fish. Just to read the summary, Once in a Blue Moon unravels the mystery of an event that occurs briefly once a decade. This strange and unreal journey takes us into some of the most remote and beautiful parts of New Zealand as we follow one angler on the fly fishing adventure of a lifetime and a quest to document and unravel a childhood mystery. As part of an unpredictable chain of events, a mass flowering of the ancient New Zealand beech forest leads to an excess of seed production. Mice and rodents feed on this abundance and reproduce in numbers reaching plague proportions. Incredible footage follows these rodents as they embark on a strange migration, attempting to swim across the expanse of New Zealand's rivers and lakes. There they fall prey to the largest predators in the lake, monster brown trout, gorging themselves on swimming mice. These fish become extremely aggressive and grow to epic proportions. For a fly fishing angler, this is the stuff dreams are made of. This bizarre phenomenon has remained a mystery until now. Stunning cinematography, never before seen underwater footage, fantastic fly fishing, and amazing trout behavior will take you deep into the tale of the fabulous and mysterious mouse year. I'm really hoping this year to get out and throw some mice patterns. I've gone so far as to purchase some because I'm one of those guys that just cannot tie with deer hair. To get out there and throw some mouse patterns and get some big ones. Saturday, New Canaan will host the George Cogswell Memorial Fishing Derby at Mill Pond. That's right at East Avenue and New Norwalk Road, or State Routes 123 and 106. They've done this for years. George Cogswell was just a great guy. Registrations at 8:30, fishing from 9 to noon. Children 15 and younger may participate. Those 10 and younger must be accompanied by an adult. Prizes for the biggest fish, best trout, first fish by a girl, first fish by a boy, and they'll stock that for the kids. Please leave it for the kids. It's sponsored by the New Canaan Recreation Department with the assistance of the New Canaan Department of Public Works and local merchants. And I have a big weekend planned with some more filming, which will mean that I'll pull our executive producer, Marty Hersam, through another ordeal of trying to edit all this stuff together. What we're going to be doing, and I'm looking forward because it's another opportunity to work with my father, and I'll be working with some people he knows. We had Steve Starantino on from Crossroads Angling Auction last week. This is the big weekend for them, and we will be down in Bud Lake, New Jersey. If you want to stop in, we're going to be there Friday and Saturday for the Crossroads Auction filming segment. So next week, tomorrow, I need more than a few hours to get ready for this one. Next week's show is going to be very collectibles heavy. We're going to have a lot from the auction on just unique fishing items and how to get involved in collecting. And we're going to talk about fishing. Remember, keep up with us on Facebook, Yankee Fisherman on HANradio.com. Share your pictures, share your thoughts. Anything you've got to say, we're here to hear it. Thank you for listening to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on HANradio.com.
Hersam, Acorn, and HANradio.com.